Today our subject is the making of caramel brownies. Now this is a very rich cookie, but you don't eat a lot of it. One little square inch bite is it is a rich cookie.
I could eat more though.
You could eat more. But you're serving them in small squares. And unless you're at home and your children want to make their own. The reason that these are so good is it's a very quick cookie to make. And over the years we've gotten lazier and lazier, and we have a few shortcuts. If you've made the caramel brownie recipe, there are many versions around the internet. This is what we have over about a 30-year period, what we've put together as a quick way to make caramel brownies. Bonnie is legendary for her caramel brownies, and she has a girls' camp story to tell you, but let me tell you, some girls at girls' camp only came because they knew Bonnie was bringing her brownies.
Okay, I guess first I'll tell you the story about girls' camp. One year I took up probably 3, and we had a ward. It wasn't a stake. We only had to feed our ward, and there were maybe 12 girls. And I made 3 of these size pans of caramel brownies, and they ate all of them in one night. But I cut it so that I left the edges, because sometimes the edges get a little crunchy, so I didn't know if they'd like them. And I got up in the morning after we served those brownies, and all the edges were eaten through the night.
And it wasn't mice.
No, it wasn't one. Okay, so for caramel brownies, you will need 2 cake mixes, and the recipe has always called for German chocolate, but I've used all kinds of chocolate. It seems to work. And then for this size pan, you'll need 24 ounces of chocolate chips and 28 ounces of caramel. And then a cube of butter.
Can I mention about the caramel?
Oh, yes.
Go ahead.
No, please.
Okay. Because the original recipe does call for the
The
craft
caramels
ones.
wrapped.
And if you ever had to unwrap all those, it's a lot of caramels to unwrap. So this was a stroke of genius.
You can buy a block. Diana's going to show it to you. A block of caramel we know of one place is at Gigi's in Salt Lake City. And then the last thing you'll need is a cube of butter. And so the way we make these...
Wait, here's the caramel block.
Oh, here's the caramel block.
And
Okay, so the way we start out by making it is to I've started to roll out one for the top, but the bottom has already been rolled out and baked in that pan over there. Might be hot, Jess. And then what you'll do after that bottom one is baked, then you will pour those on there.
Yeah.
The chocolate chips go first.
Just pour it on here.
Just sprinkle
you
it.
want to get it a little closer.
I can wait.
Well, it's too hot. You just sprinkle all of the chocolate chips as evenly as you can, and you can even take that
Yeah.
spatula.
That's what I thought. A lot of good chocolate.
As I said, this is a very rich
Maybe I
cookie.
can only eat one.
It does have its purpose. I'm thinking especially if you're doing a lot of entertaining, it's nice to have a little plate of these on hand. And they freeze very well.
Okay.
And then next goes the caramel.
I'm going to bring it closer to the caramel. I can
I
help.
can do it.
Just kind of
And
evenly.
just do it in
that was
ribbons
a
all
big one.
over, and then you can kind of spread
We
it.
melted this amount of caramel. It's caramel mixed with evaporated milk.
Oh, yes. That's
And we, to do this in advance, we melted it in a low oven while we were getting the rest of the batter prepared.
Yummy. It looked like a whole bunch of caramel, but it melts right in there good.
Amazing. on the edge there. You don't want to have your kids watching you, because what I did to Joanne just now, they always did to me. They said, you missed that chocolate chip, you missed that one.
Okay. It kind of melts
Yeah, it kind of melts the
chocolate chips. So
But then it's going to go back into the oven with another layer of what was on the bottom.
This used to be the worst part of the recipe.
Yeah.
And we have Bonnie's daughter Becky to thank for what was called the Becky method. Bonnie's going to now demonstrate the Becky method. Because it says to spoon it on the top. Well, this is now hot. And you put batter on it that's different temperatures. It's challenging.
Well, and also, you might get the one without the caramel. 'Cause
Right.
I mean,
Oh.
you're spooning the caramel
Yes.
on, you're spooning that
Yeah.
on, and it's...
So what I have here is a piece of parchment paper, and if you get the counter wet under it, it will stay still.
She needs more space. Now that it's thinner, it's getting a little bit more workable.
I think I have enough.
Start right in the center and push hard toward that corner. I can see it coming.
Over here, there's
Yeah.
more too.
There you go.
Oh, just the water.
It wouldn't come with me. Okay, so put it in there.
Okay.
And then
Or no, wait.
this one doesn't look as nice, but
Isn't that
that's
the
good.
top?
so this is my method of getting the top on to be really nice.
Oh,
Just a little
nice.
bit. See, it
Yeah.
came out a little.
Yeah, oh, too bad.
And then you scoot it over a little bit. And then you just peel it off.
Aha.
It's probably easier when you have
But
two people to do that method.
you can let it set longer. If you let it set even an hour, it wouldn't be as messy, but we
In
were.
the interest of time.
Yeah, but you can see how the top is going to be pretty.
Yeah.
Perfectly.
If it was, if we had set it a little longer.
Yeah.
So
Yummy.
now it's not yet done because it needs to go back in the oven
And now
for
it
how
will
many
bake
minutes?
it will bake for 25 minutes.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to do basically the same recipe, but I'm doing it in the 2 quarter pans. Bonnie did it in the half sheet pan, and I'm doing it in 2. 2 quarters. And really, you can we have the recipe if you only want to do it in 1. I'm thinking if you're going to make them, they freeze well. Even if you can't eat them on one setting, it's worth the making more. So I am, it's on just the half size sheet pan parchment paper. And I am going to, so it's about 16.5 inches across the parchment sheet. And so I'm going to mark it. You can eyeball it. It's not that critical if it's a little bit more on one side or other. But I'm gonna, I did mark it half. So I'm just gonna take this, the same cookie sheet that you're using is fine. And then just cut the dough. It does not cut through the parchment paper. But it is, and that was a little crooked, but anyway. And I'm just going to take it and just slip it up, and then I have 2 sheets. So basically I'm going to do it like Bonnie did. I'm going to pour the chocolate chips first. And I divided this, so this is 12 ounces in each pan. And then do the other one. Smoosh it around. Whoops. Unrolled chocolate chip. Okay, and we weighed the chocolate, but we did them together. So if you're not comfortable, just kind of
Yes.
then
caramel?
weigh it separately. It's 2 separate bowls for
Are
the
you talking
caramel.
about the caramel?
Yeah, the caramel. So hopefully I'm
Good
just
eye,
guessing.
Joanne.
I don't think too much unless you're really off that you could
You're dribbling.
yeah. Thank you.
I meant off the pan.
Yeah, I saw it. Thanks. It does take a little bit of mooshing around with the chocolate. But I think as long as everybody gets the some chocolate and caramel, they'll be happy. I think another thing, we've had this caramel sitting melted for a while,
So it's
and
cooled.
it's cooled down a little too much, but it works.
Well, it's going back into the oven for another, how long?
For Joanne's, it's 20 minutes.
20 minutes.
When it's the bigger pan takes 28 minutes,
29, I did,
and the smaller pans, is it 25 minutes or 28 minutes?
yeah. 25.
Oh, 25 minutes for the full half cookie, whatever you
half
call
sheet
it,
pan.
sheet pan. Okay, so that's good. Now I'm going to do one more thing different. I love pecans in mine, so I'm going to just sprinkle some pecans on each one.
You better eat yours.
Yeah. Pretty much you can put whatever you want. If you like,
Well, if you're serving a crowd, it's a sure thing to leave the nuts out, because in about any family gathering I have, half love nuts, half don't want them in.
so you'll want to do the half cookie sheets because you can do
True.
half
One
one
by the
way
quarter
and half
sheet.
the other.
Yeah.
Yeah, quarter cookie sheets. So there you go. Now I'm going to do because it's smaller amount, it's easier. I'm just going to place it on here and place the other one on here, and then just peel it off.
Zip off the. This is why parchment is one of our favorite things. We keep using it over and over again, wondering how we did without it in the old days.
So-
Joanne and I used to spend quite a bit of time fighting over who had to prepare the pans whenever we made cookies.
Yeah. I don't remember that, but you keep bringing it up, so I think
Yeah.
I must have been the rude one. I'm going to get that little bit of caramel so it doesn't drip in your oven.
Okay.
Just get that off there. Okay, I'm just going to put it in the pan. Now Diana's going to show a little bit different
Yes.
of the same thing.
One of the things I do differently is I like to add white chocolate chips to my dark chocolate chips. And I didn't have the traditional chips, but I still had some of these discs from our pecan heaven. And so I chopped it in this little thing because it helps you control where the discs fly.
Did this chopper come with it? 'Cause
Yeah,
it's
it was
rounded
a
just
set.
like it. Oh,
Mhm.
awesome.
And when I prepare the nuts, I also love nuts. And I have some already to put on, but I'll show you how I like to chop nuts. I don't like finely chopped nuts unless it's for a specific recipe. So what I do is put it on this this slicer, and just a minute, I missed. And very rapidly, you have a lot of nuts prepared. I don't need those for
Could they
this.
see the blade that you use?
Yes.
That's pretty.
So
open it
this
up,
is, yeah, I will. I love this dicer attachment. It comes with a few others, and you can do them more finely if you need finely chopped nuts, which I probably will in a little while. Then go ahead and use the finely. Now I will do
Yeah.
the assembly
Yeah.
in a little different way. Okay, yeah. Again, I'm eyeballing, and mine's cool enough that I'm just going to draw a line and see if that works. It might not. So here's one, and here's the other. I'm using these 9x9 square pens because they have removable bottom, and it's easier to remove the brownies if you just take it comes apart. So
you did it different. You did the chocolate chips on top of the.
oh, I
It
forgot.
probably won't matter.
Yeah.
That was a blim.
Oh, I don't think,
But,
maybe
you know,
it's
if
easier.
you-
Yeah, it
Yeah.
might be easier.
No, I don't know that it matters.
Yeah, 'cause
You
you're
said you
gonna
were gonna
bake
do
it.
it different,
Okay.
I thought that's what you meant.
They're going to, I didn't mean quite that different. I should follow the directions.
No, but
I
when
don't
you
think
think
it
about it, why
matters.
would it really matter?
Yeah.
So I'll make sure that it's evenly distributed before I sprinkle on. I must do this all the time. I probably have never been aware of.
Yeah.
It does help to read the directions every once in a while, and
Well, many
sometimes I
times
forget.
directions don't really matter. They're just telling
Yeah.
you how it could
Yeah.
be, and then we get in the habit, and it doesn't really matter.
So I'm evenly distributing. I took out a few of the dark chocolate to put the white, because you don't want any more than 12 ounces. So sometimes it's easier just to dump them on and spread them. And really why I like the white chocolate is it looks pretty to have another element. You've got the caramel color and the batter that's cooked. And then if you've got this white and the nuts, that gives you quite a few.
Couldn't somebody, if they like dark chocolate, do milk and dark?
You sure could.
Yeah.
I mean, this is your batch. I was thinking of something else that might be real good. Peanut butter cups
Oh.
might be good with that too.
But you do it
This
instead
is
of
your
chocolate,
recipe, and I'm going to sprinkle a few, maybe.
Yeah. They have, Winslow has the little tiny peanut butter cups.
Yeah.
So you just
Yeah,
replace
those
the
little
chocolate
peanut butter
chips
cups.
with those.
Oh my, we should have thought of that. Joanne, can you hand me? I want to put
Well, I
a few
think
more
what
nuts
you
on.
could do with that is just put a layer of it on top of the first
Yeah,
crust.
yeah.
And maybe that would.
A layer on
So
top
there
of
you
what?
got, we
On
got
top of
caramel
your
brownie
first
peanut
crust.
butter cup.
The first
Oh, yeah.
crust, just layer,
Oh.
one layer. Yeah.
Caramel
Okay.
brownie peanut butter cup.
So now we've got the tops. Remember that dreaded just place the batter on the top with spoons, and it's a pointless task to do it that way. I'm sure that's why these aren't quite as popular as they used to be. I put a template. I just drew a pencil line around one of those removable bottoms in advance, and I rolled the upper crust on this. So this is like a third way. Let's hope that I
Put your hand
can do
on
it.
that.
No, well,
Got it. Perfect.
well,
Yeah. you just
perfect
finish it
enough.
there. And here you can see the line she drew, so she knows where to roll it out to. Perfect, yeah.
Okay, so the last one I saved so you could watch how I did it. So I've got this, the template drawn on the parchment paper, and then I have I try to just kind of shape it a little bit so it'll kind of go. Rolling pins, as you know, are a little capricious, and you don't know for sure exactly which way something's going to squish. You don't have to change your rolling pin position. Just rotate that paper so that you can get it all in. So when I was meticulous beforehand without the camera watching, here, hand me back that, one of the knives. What I actually ended up doing to cheat was if something's over and I want to even it up, then I just slice that and move it over to another spot. This is very forgiving. We're not worried about it being tough at all because it has so much butter in it.
At this point, it might be just as easy to pat it down the edge to it.
What do you mean?
Instead of rolling, you can just kind of pat it down.
Oh, yeah.
If it's easier for
Yeah, that's
somebody.
probably what I'm doing. And you can see right here, there's a whole corner missing. But usually in the center of any dough that you're rolling, there is some hidden extra amount. It seems to be thicker in the middle. So you can see that just by going in the center and out, now I can still even it out with my knife. There needs to be a little bit more. When it's baked, this is not going to show. Or if it does show, we're not going to show it on camera. Oh yeah, I've got a whole thing. Well, but look,
Yeah, you got it.
I was sloppy on my lines, so I'm looking at the wrong lines. But here, you just pat pat it around.
Yeah, it looks good.
And you're usually in the kitchen by yourself doing this. You're not going to have an audience. And as you saw Bonnie straighten hers, you can get a pretty good edge on it. Almost impossible to be anything like this by spooning it on. So there you have it. So I'm going to take the second one and I'm going to put my hand this time over it. I should have. And just lower it on. And we're done. Now, you might have to reposition it. As long as it's centered, then you can still kind of smush it with your hands. And this is how it is to use a 9x9 pan and with a removable bottom. The same amount of dough is in this pan as opposed to the quarter pan. That's okay. It's going to be a different looking cookie. Hi, I'm Diana, and today I'm going to demonstrate putting away almost 6 batches of caramel brownies that my sisters and I made the other day. I say almost because Sunday dinner happened in between and my family ate a half a batch. That's about 35 people. So first I'm going to loosen the sides. It's been cold, so it's kind of firm. If you were doing this when it was still warm, it wouldn't look like the chore it is. So after I've gone through on all 4 sides with my dough cutter, I will show you the next step. I found this wonderful rocking 2-handled knife at a bakery that was going out of business. This is some of their equipment. I've looked and there are these type of knives on Amazon. But look what this knife does. It will cut wonderful slices from slabs of food. Ta-da! So when I was talking about I like to put white chocolate chips in mine, it's because it looks pretty at the side to have 2 different kinds of chocolate, I think. So now I'm going to vacuum seal these slabs. And now we are going to vacuum seal it. We've already put it in and we'll just push back seal. Because most normal people would only make 1 batch at a time, we spared you the footage of putting up a total of 6 batches of caramel brownies. Now we each wanted to do a double batch with our own variations so that we could demonstrate to you how quickly you could change the recipe or stick to the main one. So now they have been chilled before they were cut with that wonderful knife that I dearly love. And then because they'd been chilled, they were easy to get into vacuum sealing bags. So we have a stack of 24 in a count, a stack of 18, a dozen and a half, and this smallest stack each has a dozen. Remember, you're cutting them about 1 inch square. They're very rich. You don't want to have a big slab of brownie per serving. So this will do our family, I figure, for about 2 years, and they will last in the freezer that long because they are vacuum sealed.